tifanane naye, rudo, rudo, tifadza, rudo natsenzira, rudo itam titerere nekuva nebutsa pasiride urombo kurwara nekufa ngerudo tinobatsira vamwe kudawira Mwari rudo tiri vana vake Mwari rudo tifanane naye rudo rudo tifadza rudo natsenzira rudo ita titerere nekuva nebutsa apo basarapera tatorwa kusoro ngoma yedu tichaimba ndijesu ngerudo Mwari rudo tiri vana vake Mwari rudo tifanane naye rudo rudo tifadza rudo natsenzira rudo ita titerere nekuva nebutsa Mwari rudo tiri vana vake Mwari rudo tifanane naye rudo rudo tifadza rudo natsenzira rudo ita titerere nekuva nebutsa.
Life is designed to be lived to the fullest, celebrated each day and each moment cherished. Welcome to Celebrations Health reBalance, where we celebrate health fully and rebalance health well so that you can live your health to the fullest and in the most optimum way that you can. And I want to let you know that on Celebrations, we are zeroing in on lifestyle factors that affect health as far as prevention is concerned, intervention is concerned, and possible remission in some cases. I've got good news for each and every one of you. Celebrations is not just ending here on Mandara Online, but we have got a program at Solusi University which is entitled Health and Medical Ministry Short Course, which is a 6 months online course that is designed to equip health workers, church members, health enthusiasts with skills to be able to do medical missionary work in a professional and in a well-organized way that can bring hope and transformation to communities. You want to get in touch with me, Dr. Charles Hleza. I am your host on +263 783 809 684. +263 783-809-684, and I'll give you the right details and direct you to Solusi University for registration of this particular course. And today we have a wonderful program. We want to talk about men's health. Nyaya dzana baba, as far as utano hwavo is concerned, their health is concerned. And I'm joined with a special guest who is going to help us to delve into this topic deep, far, wide, and exploit so that men's health can become a norm and can also become a reality to many people. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Charles. It's indeed a pleasure having me around. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming and for sparing time from your busy schedule to come and discuss Nyaya dzana baba.
Yeah. Quite important issues for us to really talk about.
Okay, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you very much, Charles, for the opportunity. My name is Dr. Chikoore Jefferson. I'm from Men's Clinic International, where we are located at 284 Samora Machel.
Okay.
We take particular and special interest in things that have to do with men's health. We look at issues such as erectile dysfunction, prostate cancer, premature ejaculation, and we also take care of men with certain conditions such as non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes.
Okay.
You know, so those are this is just a tip of what we do. We also do lifestyle counseling on because quite a number of these issues are intertwined.
Okay.
You know, men's health with non-communicable diseases and their lifestyle. So we help in managing men's health in a comprehensive and wholesome manner. So that is what we are really there for. So we are really there for men to really help them to offer an environment that is very comfortable. You know, one of the challenges that I always hear with a number of men when it comes to visiting the hospitals, men find it very difficult at times to dish out the information that they have. Probably they are visiting a certain institution. They might feel a bit uncomfortable or shy or coy, if I may say, to share with probably maybe someone of an opposite sex. Not only just someone of an opposite sex. At times, a lot of men find it difficult even to share their problems that they are facing with their spouses. What more than someone of an opposite sex? So at Men's Clinic, we then offer an environment, whereby men feel free and comfortable to share with us all that they are going through. So that's what we are there for as Men's Clinic International.
All right, thank you so much. Mati munowanikwa papi garage?
We are located at 284 Samora Machel.
284 Samora Machel. Wanababa wese. That's where you can get help and support. Wanamai motaurira wanababa kuti wakwanise kuwana rubatsiro rwakadzika, rwakadzama, rwakajeka in a safe environment. I believe your environment is safe.
Very safe indeed. Very safe indeed. We've got some of our patients coming alone as men, and some of our patients come together with their spouses.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
okay.
quite interesting. And we'll delve more into the benefits of the difference between clients that come alone, clients that come with their partners. And I remember one of the moments, one of the days, the spouse of the patient that we're managing. I remember them highlighting a point and asking me, Doc, can you please confirm that this place, you only treat men? Because when I was in the waiting room with my husband, one of the men that probably maybe was waiting to get into the doctor's consultation room, they were just uncomfortable seeing me. So, I think it really disturbed that lady. So, that shows the environment that we really offer. We really offer an environment where men, feel really comfortable to share with us their stories.
I didn't hear you talking about suicidal support. Do you look into that as well? As far as men's health is concerned, rarely does a week or so pass by in the newspapers without having maybe a title, whether it's a headline or somewhere along the way you find that someone is taking their life, and mainly it's men, do you also offer support in that area?
Yes, sure, Charles. We do offer support in that area.
Okay.
Men's mental health is something that is very dear and important to us. Actually, if you are to look at statistics will actually tell you that women or females attempt suicide more than men.
Okay,
So
they
attempt suicide more than
Okay,
men. But when it comes to successful attempts of suicide, men rate higher as compared to their female counterparts. So men, yes,
mukureva kuti kudi apa mukureva kuti vanhukadzi vanozama
yes,
vanhurume havazami
havazami.
chimboparerutsai papapo.
Fine. So this is what we are saying, Charles. Okay. Some of, I think, what I'm saying is, when women attempt suicide, at times they attempt suicide with, very maybe mild, forms of trying to kill them. But when men, at times, they attempt suicide, they make sure that the attempt is successful. They make sure that the attempt is successful, so that you see that in most of the patients or people that get that you get the statistics that you get of people that would have died to suicide, you see that there will be more males than there are females. But whilst the suicidal attempts will be more on the females than on the males. So males use more aggressive ways, of ending their lives, which I think also can be attributed at times to the way that men get to handle at times their stresses and their situations. We are unlike our female counterparts. Our female counterparts are quite open. They can sit in groups, discuss their issues. But it's very difficult for men or for a male patient, to really probably maybe approach someone, get to share that, something is really bothering me and things are not so okay. We've got quite a few men that are, probably have got to appreciate, that point. So in a way, that flame or that fire that will be consuming you from inside, without you sharing, the burden with someone else, it will reach a certain point whereby, when you are attempting suicide, probably you'll be sure of what you want to do, and your mind is set upon it. And because there hasn't been some consolation, some counseling, or some seeking of advice, to other people that can actually help you. So that's it when it comes to issues about men's health. So you're going to see that even the things that we get to take care of, when it comes to issues about men's health, things such as erectile dysfunction, things such as premature ejaculation, subfertility. There are things that are emotional and that will eventually, as much as they are physical, conditions. But in most of our patients, what at times will make or push them to come to see us is the thing will now be actually having a toll on their mental health. So I remember I would always share with quite a number of people, on the different platforms that we present about men's health, that I remember watching a presentation by a urologist that was in the US, and I was going through the comment section. As I was going through the comment section, it was about erectile dysfunction, and I remember one of the people that were viewing that sent a message in the comment section. They really expressed a deep interest, in need for help. Yeah, they said, please guys, can you really help us? Because if it's personally for me, it's taking a toll on me to the point that at times I get to points whereby I feel like taking my life. Yeah. The point whereby I feel like committing suicide. That's the extent to which some of these physical conditions can spiral to if unattended to. So men's health, it means International Clinic, as much as we are taking care of the physical conditions, it's quite well intertwined with mental health.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to learn that there's such a place where people can go, like a seat of refuge, for support as far as men's health is concerned.
Yes.
Well, let's get you an understanding. Of course, we have talked about what services are offered and a brief introduction. But why is men's health important? The point that we need to have a men's international clinic. And now we have invited you to come here and we are discussing this. Why is it important?
Okay. Issues about men's health very much important, Charles. I was going through some global statistics. And so the global statistics that I was going through, it was showing me that, for a woman of your same age, right, you are likely to live 5 years less than a woman of your same age, right? So men generally tend to live 5 years less than their female counterparts, right? And even if you were to look at some of the local statistics that we get in some of the public institutions and health institutions, that we are in, we get to see that when it comes to the number of admissions that we make in the female world, we make a lot, probably maybe twice the number of admissions that are made in the male wards.
Okay.
But when it comes to the number of people that then die, in different institutions, the number of people that do not make it out of the hospital, you see that, the number in the male ward will probably be twice than in the female ward. That can be explained by a number of factors.
Okay.
But really, I think one of the factors that is at the center or at the core of it is the health-seeking behavior of men.
Okay.
Yeah, our health-seeking behavior as men, as times is below standard. Yeah, us included. Yeah, for actually statistics, if you check around, statistics will show you that, as much as men live 5 years less than their female counterparts, but it has actually been shown that men make as half as many visits to a doctor as compared to their female counterparts.
Okay.
So in probably, let's say in a year, if our female counterparts is to visit the doctor maybe 6 times, you will see that men will visit the doctor probably maybe 3 times, half. But when it comes to the the lifespan and at times the risk of diseases and etc., you actually see probably some diseases were at the same in terms of the risk factors, or actually at a more risk when compared to our female counterparts. But we make less visits to doctors when compared to our female counterparts. So it's about health-seeking behavior. It's something that men are really notorious about.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Chikoore, thank you for bringing up this point.
Yes.
Munofunga kuti zvingadero zvikonzerwa nei pakuona kwenyu nekushanda nevarwere varume vachiuya vanhukadzi vachiuya? What do you think are some of the drivers for men to have low health-seeking behavior? Okay.
Before I delve into the probably maybe the things that are driving that, in quite a number of places that I get at times to visit and talk with men, at times, prior to that, would think that it probably maybe it's because of economic, circumstances, whereby someone can say, okay, fine, it's difficult for me to visit the doctor. I don't have as much money, costly to pay the consultation fee to the doctor. I don't have that much amount to spare. But Charles, interestingly, I've actually seen that even amongst men that have got health insurance, men that are on medical aids, ask them, a lot of them, they've got medical aids, but they won't dare visit the doctor. They won't dare. So it's not a matter about, you being able to afford to visit a doctor for a health checkup. It goes beyond that.
Okay.
It goes beyond that. It's a behavioral more than it is an economic, issue. It's a behavioral issue. At times, one of the things that drive men, people say, if I know that I'm hypertensive, then I have to start on medication. Then I have to start on, different types of, treatments and etc. And a lot of men, if I may say, they fear knowing what they are suffering from.
Okay.
Thinking that the knowledge of what they are suffering from is what will kill them. That's what a lot of people actually have. But not knowing that the earlier that, especially with a number of these communicable diseases, a lot of them have got, a good window whereby when interventions are put in place, the disease can actually be reversed, can actually be managed well.
Okay.
You get it? People can actually get in remission, the disease can actually be reversed,
Okay.
and actually that disease can actually be managed well. You get it? So at times, people prolong and delay. At times people actually feel some certain things that will give them the urge to visit the doctor, but they won't do so. You get it? So it's
Yeah.
more of a behavioral factor, and men at times fear knowing that, this is what I'm suffering from. I need to seek help. Even simple things, Charles, like, do you know actually getting checked for a BP costs as much as 50 cents in a pharmacy?
Okay.
Just walking into a pharmacy, get your BP checked probably once in a month, once in a while, 50 cents, Charles. But a lot of people fear that, if I am to know that I'm hypertensive now, probably that will kill me more. Than so those are some of the factors that drive at times men into not seeking health behavior. In times the cultural, some people point towards the cultural way in which men were brought up to say mruma acheme. You get it? Ukangodona uri mwana mudiki, so mwana mukomana izvi kana kaangodona, so unobvanza ayo mruma acheme nyarara shinga anditi. So in a way that also in a way has contributed to men bottling themselves up to say, okay, fine, it's okay for when you are not okay, to seek what? To seek help, but we tend to then bottle, ourselves up and say, by the time, the statistics that I was giving you, Charles, about the public institutions, a lot of men not making it out of, hospitals when they present, is actually attributed to the timeline at which men then present to the hospitals. They present to the hospital with a disease process that is now in its advanced stage. Probably we are past that window where we can make, meaningful difference. So it's unlike women, very, better health-seeking behavior. They seek, for help when things are probably still at a manageable stage. You get it? But men seek help. Either they are presenting, if it's a hypertension, most men at times present to the hospital when they are with a stroke, with a heart attack, with probably their kidneys no longer functioning. The disease is now in its advanced stage. So the probability of then that person making it out of the hospital is, is very reduced and, quite
but
sad.
Is it not also that women are used to being in a hospital setup? They go for prenatal checks for those that may probably have the privilege of being pregnant, and then they deliver in the hospital, they go for postnatal. Isn't it also that maybe for women, maybe to a certain extent, they've got that exposure that maybe men don't have, unless maybe if I'm missing something?
Okay, we can say that. Okay, we can attribute a very small percentage probably maybe to that. But the fact of the dispositions that women have, to say it prompts women to seek health more. That's the advantages that they have. But the advantage does not put a counter effect on men to say because women have got this, so men want, so we don't have any justification to not seeking help.
I think most health facilities also encourage men to come along with their spouses, for prenatal check, for delivery, for postnatal check. So I think really we don't have a reason to hide behind anything as far as men's health is
not
concerned.
actually. If you are to check our national, for those that remember actually the child health card, that card, you'd recall that back kumashure, the child health card used to have the mother with a baby that was suckling the breast, that was breastfeeding.
Yes.
It was the mother alone with the baby. And then things evolved to such an extent that if you are to look now at the cards that we do have at the moment, we've got the mother with the baby breastfeeding and the father behind the mother.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
So it's actually the health ministry trying to encourage men to actually take part even in the health of the baby in the prenatal care. We actually if you come at just a tip to the audience, if a pregnant woman is to come with their husband to the antenatal care clinic, kumaskeo, where we call kumaskero and etc. We give preference to women that come with their husbands. They don't stand in the queue. Yes, Charles.
Mazunzo awira vatereri ndatoti chiremba vambomira ndinyatsotsinhidzira this point. Kana makazvitakura muri kuenda kunoongororwa kuti zviri kufamba zvakanaka here musati masvika pakuti mubatsirwe mukaenda nemurume wenyu kana kuti baba mukaenda nomudzimai wenyu munopiwa higher preference yekuti mukwanise kubatsirwa nokukasika. So vanorume ngatiendei pamwe chete nemadzimai edu, madzimai ngatikurudzirei vanorume kuti tiende tese, and we get that preference at the antenatal care. Doc, you may continue.
Fine. And actually, inversely, Charles, as much as it has been shown that the involvement of the father in the health of the baby has got positive impacts.
Okay.
Looking at the other way around, the support of the mother, even when it comes to issues about the health of the father, her involvement is of pivotal role.
Okay.
It's actually invaluable. We actually get to see that couples that have that do present with their spouses, they tend to do better in terms of their journey to recover from the different conditions that we are really talking about. So we actually, at first, amongst the conferences that we would do and the talks that we do, the wellness talks that we would do about issues about men's health, we would at times streamline those, those conferences and those talks to men alone. But, of recent, we have shifted our interest to start to include even women.
Wow.
Yeah, amongst those talks, when you are talking about prostate cancer, we actually invite women to actually come and attend those talks.
Amazing.
Because those women are sisters to brothers who are suffering from prostate cancer, daughters to fathers who are suffering from erectile dysfunction or prostate cancer, or all of those, conditions. So,
Amazing.
And actually, one thing that is of interest, Charles, I remember I was sharing with one of my colleagues at Men's Clinic International, that, in some of the talks that we actually get to do, you actually see that at the end of the talk, it's actually women that pause, it's actually women that want to know more about issues about men's health. The men will be there. They'll be sitting, laughing, but when it comes to issues about actually asking the substance about these issues, we give them, we've given you a platform whereby, if you've got any mysteries, or myths about, these certain diseases that we'll be discussing about prostate cancer, about erectile dysfunction, about men's mental health, that you'd want addressed, it's actually women that actually bring the questions, forward. In most of the audiences, that is quite actually, surprising, and at times, coming from the men's side, very disheartening from our fellow comrades.
You know what? I'm actually thinking, good team. Usually, when men are not feeling well in the home setup, rarely do we also get men taking care of a man when they're sick. Usually it's women.
Women, yes.
And I think it's in their nature. To be more caring. And I think in that environment, they also have to ask more questions.
Yes.
But I just want to ask you something, Doc, before we proceed. Is there hope for men? Because the picture that we have painted so far, I was actually thinking, this to me sounds like To me it sounds like and I'm just saying to myself, well, we have painted the the environment, how it is. Like, we've painted a picture so nicely and well. Yekuti zvakamira sei panyaya dzeutano dzevanhu, but is there hope for men?
Charles, there's hope for men. There are a lot of interventions that are there. You know, lifestyle conditions, you know, lifestyle interventions that can actually be put in place. And we've actually seen, you know, men coming to us, you know, suffering from erectile dysfunction. You know, on a different platform, you know, we delve deep, you know, about what erectile dysfunction really is about. But we've actually seen men, you know, a lot of them having, you know, their conditions improving.
Wow.
You know, yeah, we've seen men with hypertension, the hypertension being reversed or being managed, actually even on lifestyle alone. You know, some of those chronic conditions.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so there is hope. There is hope for men.
Wow,
But
thank
it
you so
really,
much
it
for
really, it really needs, you know, us as men taking our part, you know, going forward to seek help. You know, a lot of men are drowning. You know, we are in a crisis. You know, I always say to people, men is in a crisis. Men is in a crisis. You know, a lot of men get to drown by themselves. To drown by themselves. At times, you know, not even talking to their spouses when they are seeing that there's a challenge. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much for indicating that there's hope. True and indeed, there is hope for men's health, and that's why we are here today. In the future, we are going to talk about erectile dysfunction, suicidal ideation, suicidal support, mental health, non-communicable diseases, specifically zeroing in on men, so that their health is improved and becomes better, they become functional, and they can live longer, healthier, fulfilling lives, so that tisave mhuri dzinosara dzisisina baba nekukasika kana sekuru nekukasika, kana kuti mwanakomana nekukasika aigona kuzorarama kwenguva yakareba aine utano hwakanaka and playing their pivotal role in the community. This then leads us to discuss about celebrations. We want to pick some of the letters on celebrations. Just as a reminder, C stands for choice, E stands for exercise, L stands for liquids, E stands for environment, B stands for belief, and R stands for rest, A stands for air, T stands for temperance, I stands for integrity, and O stands for optimism, N stands for nutrition, and S stands for social support. Right. Now, Dr. Chikoore,
Yes.
we want to look at the role that celebrations play as far as men's health is concerned. So, which letter do you want us to tackle first?
Okay, I think in our prior discussion, I think we did touch, I think, quite a lot on the issues about C, choices.
Choices, yeah.
Yeah. Most of the issue is a matter of a choice, you know, choosing to say, okay, I'm not well. Things are not okay.
Choosing
To accept
that I'm not well.
that you are not well.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and making the choice to visit any health practitioner, you know, to get some help. Making the choice to involve, you know, your spouse or your guardian or, you know, someone who is close to you. When it comes to these things about, you know, or your walk through a certain condition that you might be transiently or that you might be suffering from, you get it. So it's, I think, you know, if we are to change, especially the way in which we make choices as men, you will see a very, you know, a big change, you know, or big improvement in terms of our health outcomes, you know, as men. So choices really are at the center, you know, of men's health, or getting, you know, or of us getting on top of, you know, on top of the game when it comes to issues about men's health.
Oh, thank you.
Choices.
So, rumbe rimwe harikombi churu.
Yes.
Yes, and the Bible also says that in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
Yes.
We were created by God as social beings.
Yes.
And the more we become social, the more we become healthy, I believe. I'm also beginning to think that when it comes to choices, I don't know in your practice, but I've seen it in my practice as well, that, okay, yes, we agree that less men show up, but I have seen a certain tendency that men have,
Okay.
where they choose not to follow the prescription and dosage they've been given. They have a tendency of defaulting. I don't know from your end if it's the same, or maybe from your observation, maybe men in that space, maybe they are better off as far when it comes to defaulting on medication is concerned.
Okay, that is quite a challenge, Charles. You know, so working with men is something that is quite interesting. You know, you'll be approaching the problem from different dimensions. Yeah, because we've got that factor that you have just brought out. You know, issues about adherence. You know, adherence to whatever prescription that they would have been given. You know, it's quite a challenge. I remember I'll share a story of I remember a patient, you know, that I saw. It was the patient, you know, men can suffer from any other, you know, illness that women as well suffer from, be it some illnesses like, HIV and AIDS. And I remember seeing at some point a certain comrade. He presented to the hospital with his wife. He was not doing quite well. So the gentleman was not doing quite well. He was quite, cachexic. He had lost, some significant amount of weight, and you could see that, from looking at him, that things were not doing well. And one thing that you were sure of when you look at that person, you'd be able to say this illness is not an illness that started yesterday. You know, it is something. It is indeed something that has been going on for quite some time. And then you get to ask the person, and then you are working out. You know, you're talking to the patient, trying to really understand where the problem is. Yeah. And then we come to a point whereby we said, okay, fine, let's do a number of tests. And the number of tests that we did, one of the tests that we was really on top of our list was testing for HIV. You know, and then we did test it for the guy for HIV, and he came out positive for HIV. So it is one of our customs in our health facilities. We do what is known as provider-initiated testing and counseling. That when you present with your spouse and we get to test you, results come out positive as they did. We at times, invite, your spouse to also get tested. Yes. If they don't know their HIV status, if they've got the right to say yes, they've got the right to say no. Okay. So I remember we then asked, approach the wife, ask them, my guru, do mabudu write my results with the consent of the husband around. Do you know your HIV status? And I remember the wife, saying, Chiremba, yes, I know my HIV status. I'm HIV positive. Okay. Right? When you get that response, you look at the husband and probably, expect the husband to put up a face that is firm. But the husband was very calm and chilled, relaxed. He never moved an inch. When the wife, said that I'm HIV positive. And I remember the wife then went on to say that even my husband knows that I'm HIV positive, and I'm actually on medication, taking my tablets as prescribed by by the doctor or by the health practitioner. And I then turned my face towards the husband. Koma, shakamira say, my guru watarati muruza inda mamsiri kutestwa pesa apa. And then I remember the guy saying, chiremba ndaingoti ndichazoenda kunotestwa. Okay. All this while I think the lady, if I recall well, was on a treatment for 3 years. So the husband was, they were meeting up with, having intercourse with the spouse, unprotected, and yet he stayed for 3 months. saying that I won't go and get, and go get tested, just prolonging, that issue that I said, that he was fearing that, the moment that I know that I'm HIV positive, that's that knowledge is what will kill me, So it was quite a very sad, a very sad story. The gentleman was fortunate enough to make it outside of the hospital. But the state in which he presented to, I tell you, Charles, many of the guys that present in that state don't make it outside of the hospital. But he was fortunate enough to probably be able to tell a story to his fellow cadres that, comrades, we need to take these things seriously.
No, thank you, Dr. Chikoore. A prudent man sees danger. This is what Proverbs says. A prudent man sees danger ahead. Then he prepares himself accordingly or hides himself so that he's safe. This is something that we as men, we really need to do. But above this, I was just drawing this point that we were discussing na Chiremba panapa kuti sevanhurume ngatiitei sarudzo yekuti kana tichinge takwanisa kuwana rubatsiro kubva kuna nachiremba, tanyorerwa tsamba yemushonga, ngatitorei mushonga iyoyo sekunyorwa kwayakava zvakaitwa. Zvinotibatsira zvakanyanya kuti tikwanise kuita sei kupora. Uyezve kana tanzi tidzokere kuti tizoonekwa kuti zvakamira sei, mushonga yatapiwa zviri kuenderana nereutano ruri kuendeka zvakanaka, ngatidzokerei nenguva. Zvinotibatsira zvakanyanya izvozvo. Saka iyoyo itori sarudzo. That's a choice that we as men have to make, to say, I am going to follow and stick to the prescription. I am not going to default. At the same time, I'm going to go for a review as indicated. Zvinobva zvanyanyobatsira zvakanyanya. Madzimai mokurudzirawo vana baba kuti kana vachinge vanyorerwa mushonga yavo nachiremba, vatore nenguva yanofanirwa kutora uye nenguva yakatarwa. Uye nokuti kana mazuva ave akuswedera ekuti vanoongororwa zvakare kana kutariswa kechipiri nachiremba kana kechitatu, vaende vanotariswa. Zvinobva zvatibatsira zvakanyanya kuti varume vange vaine utano huri nani kupfuura zvatiri zvino. Now, Chiremba, which other letter do you want us to tackle?
Okay, Charles, I think we can tackle the issue about exercise.
Exercise, okay.
The issue about exercise, the second letter on, the word celebration. Exercise is quite pivotal. It spans across, a spectrum of diseases. It has been proven to be helpful when it comes to, chronic conditions such as diabetes, such as hypertension, in terms of managing them. Actually, the first line of defense when it comes to managing, chronic conditions, non-communicable diseases, is lifestyle. We put lifestyle, and exercise there included. You get it, yeah. And it even goes even to the, to the point of even mental health. When it comes to mental health, you actually see that engaging in exercise is actually helpful when it comes to issues about having a healthy, mindset. Outdoor exercise, especially in open air, will actually help in dealing with your stress and make sure that you feel good. You actually, a number of people, if you are to recently look at things, marathons are becoming very popular. I think you can actually attest to that. Marathons are becoming very popular here in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
I remember probably maybe I was not so exposed to them, but I think marathons were not so as popular as they are. These days, each and every month we've got marathons, popping up. Or you've got a CMAS marathon, you've got a marathon for CBZ, you've got a Musabvunda marathon. There are a number of guys, that are engaging, and you've got a lot of people that are really turning up for the,
including men
for the events.
Yes.
And for those that run, they'll actually tell you probably you are running a 5 kilometer or a 10 kilometer, marathon. At times when you start running the first kilometer, the first 2 kilometers, you at times, feel very terrible. At the times you'd want to quit. But by the time that you just go beyond, probably maybe now you're in your third kilometer, there's that feeling that we call the runner's high. The runner's high. that you get, it's some neurotransmitter, that you get, secreted in your brain, that makes you feel good and want to go for more. You actually, if you are to ask people that run marathons, by the time that they reach their 5 kilometer peak, they feel like going for another kilometer. There's that, that runner's high that you get to feel, and that has got really, positive, impacts on your on your mental health. You actually feel that, when you after the marathon, you're feeling better, your mood has been alleviated, well, if you're feeling gloomy, you're now feeling, a bit bright, and better.
Yeah.
So exercise is really pivotal when it comes to tackling a lot of these diseases when it comes to men's health.
Thank you for that. Let's look at liquids.
Yes.
And as we are going to look at liquids, it can span from different types of beverages to water, etc. What impact does it have as far as men's health is concerned? And maybe on this one, let's try to zero in a little bit, especially on maybe erectile dysfunction.
Okay, so you're going to see that, Charles, the issue about erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is, in most cases, a vascular disease.
Okay.
It's a vascular disease. So the science behind having an erection is that there are blood vessels that we have, that goes down. We like to call kuna mof.
Okay.
Blood vessels that go kuna mof. So for you to be able to have an erection and sustain it, blood should flow in good amounts kuna mof. You get it. So when blood flows in good amounts kuna mof, you get an erection. And when you get an erection, that blood should come in good quantities, that are able to sustain that that erection. And then you are able to, to enjoy the act, as you should, right? So whenever you get something that affects the blood vessels, you get, so the blood vessels are the conduit for the blood that you need for you to get an erection.
Okay.
So whenever you get something that affects, the integrity of the blood vessels.
All right, Chiremba.
Yes.
Regarding mboti rerutsire mbichana.
Okay.
Muri kureva tsinga
dzinofamba
neropa.
Yes.
Dzichenda kunengo yemunhurume.
Right? Yes.
Kana kuti nzira dziri kufamba neropa ndozvatikutaura
nezvacho.
No, that's wonderful.
Anditika. So ndozvatikutaura kuti tsinga dzinofambisa ropa dzichienda kunengo yemunhurume. Tikangoita anything chinodzivhiringidza. And on top of that list, zvinhu zvinovhiringidza tsinga kana kuti kufambiswa kweropa dzichienda kuzasi kokoko kunyangwe nedzimwe nhengo dzemiri. We've got diabetes on top of the list. Hypertension also included. Some of these conditions, beat hypertension, at times, the vessels, at times, become stiffer to such an extent that, they become less, extensible.
Okay.
And, their ability to accommodate, the flow of blood that is needed to get a quality erection become compromised.
Okay.
And hence someone will start experiencing erectile dysfunction. So that's it, the conduit. And then we go to the substance that is being transported, in the conduit, which is the blood. The blood itself. We always talk of how water is very essential and pivotal for you to have a very good constituent of your blood in terms of the quality of blood. Water is something that is very essential. If someone doesn't get to drink the good or required amounts of water, they get dehydrated in simpler terms.
Okay.
And that will affect, at times the thickness of their blood. Their blood can go to such an extent whereby it becomes more viscous, right, and sluggish to move. And that in turn will eventually affect even the quality of your of your erection. So getting to drink, water in ways that are healthy, the right amount of water that are required for you to drink, really will help in terms of the quality of your blood. And even for people that get dehydration to extents that are quite severe. If you get dehydrated to extents that are quite severe, you can actually get to the point whereby your blood pressure drops, whereby you get hypotension, from being dehydrated.
Okay.
So as a result of that, when you are dehydrated, the body has got a way of shunting away blood, from, say, these are all organs of luxury. Yeah, luxury. Kai. So blood shunts away. Yes.
Shunting shunts.
Redirection.
Redirection.
So I'm saying,
Okay.
I'm saying the body. So God, designed, created the human body in a marvelous way.
Okay, yeah.
In times of crisis, the body knows that here, the amount of blood that we have in the body is not adequate, right? So in a way, we need to redirect the blood to essential organs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's appropriation. Yeah, so the body has got to make appropriates, to say we're going to send blood to the kidneys, we're going to send blood to the heart, we're going to send blood to the brain, because probably these are the essential organs. We're going to send blood to the lungs. Issues about erection. They are secondary,
So the flag is secondary.
Yeah, it's secondary. You get it. It's secondary.
Okay.
So these are so in a way that will eventually even affect the quality of erections. Hypertension, low blood pressure, and etc. So yeah, it will eventually have impact on your erection. So having good blood, drinking good amounts of water so that you stay well hydrated is something that is very essential for you to have good quality blood, and also even affecting down the cascade of the quality of your erections.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Now, what's the recommended amount of water for a man to drink?
Okay.
Yes.
So we can so for a majority of people that do not want to go into calculations, we usually say between 2 to 3 liters of water.
Okay.
But I recall you can help me. There's a calculation whereby we can do to say your weight divided by what number do you use again? To find the number of water glasses that you are required, or the number of liters that you are required to drink. But on average, for an adult male or man, if you drink between 2 to 3 liters, you actually be sound. You actually see that the challenge with most of us is not drinking excess water. The challenge with a lot of people is drinking below the minimum required amount that is actually recommended. The minimum recommended amount. So we recommend around at least 2 liters of water in an adult. Adult male. So a lot of people actually struggle to go actually beyond a liter, half of that. A lot of people are actually because water is the coolant at times. It makes it's the coolant that even helps in regulating at times the temperatures in our body, and that issue. So a lot of people are actually working with their bodies below their minimum threshold that they.
No, that's okay. Teaching per liquids, Papa. Are
Yes.
there some liquids that men should avoid? Because there might be myths out there that for me to be macho, for me to be a man, I should drink certain liquids or certain beverages, which in actual essence may not necessarily be so. They are actually doing the reverse. So are there any liquids that men should avoid?
Okay, I think one of the liquids that we can go straight to is alcohol. I think Doro. I remember. In another presentation, when we were giving, gave an opportunity to the audience, to the floor, to tell us about, some certain things that men use to enhance, sexual enhancers. I remember, some really, interesting stuff came out. We've got the Congo dust, and I remember, interestingly, I didn't know about it. One fellow from the audience raised up their hands and said, Black Label. You know, Black Label is a sexual enhancer.
Yeah.
You know, I was quite, I was quite interested, because if you are to really look into the science of it, now when you're sitting down, Charles, alcohol impairs the digestion or the metabolism of fat, right? And we are saying that, when you get impaired fat metabolism, you inadvertently get challenges with your weight, to the point whereby you become obese. And when you become obese, you end up at times suffering from what we call metabolic diseases, such as hypertension, such as diabetes, which we are saying are at the top of the list when it comes to causing things, or when we are actually saying about contributing to erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
You know, so, and even looking at it, a lot of people that drink, if you've actually been around people that drink, you actually get to see that they go to the toilet quite frequent. They go to the toilet quite frequent, because beer or alcohol makes you to diurese. You know, it makes you to what? To diurese. You know, you get to lose a lot of what? A lot of water, when you drink alcohol. So that inadvertently makes you dehydrated, and inadvertently goes down that cascade when we were talking about how your blood pressure and the quality of your blood, gets affected.
Yeah.
So alcohol is really a liquid that we at times do not recommend, for people when it comes to men's health in general. And not mentioning that alcohol is actually now rated as a carcinogen. If I'm not mistaken, it's a grade 1 carcinogen. When we are talking about carcinogens, we're talking about things that cause or that put someone at risk of getting what? Of getting cancer.
Prostate cancer.
Yeah, it actually puts men at at such risk. Yeah, because the things, Charles, as I said, they are intertwined. It's one thing that leads to that's connected to this, that leads to this, that leads to this, that leads to this.
Thank you so much for that, and I'm very glad that as an organization, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we do not promote the consumption of alcohol. We discourage, and we also have got systems to try and help men that are struggling and want to stop. And I think if anyone would probably attend the church for the whole year, they may come across such kind of teachings. I don't know, maybe in conclusion, as far as liquid is concerned, in your observation, as of the Adventists found out to be better in this age as far as consumption of alcohol is concerned, or generally people are becoming ignorant and need to be retaught and need to be reminded that this is one of our flagship as far as beverages is concerned. We do not consume, we discourage.
Okay. So actually, Charles, this is something that is quite interesting, globally. I think this is something that you probably, maybe at some point during your presentations, have shared about the blue zones. One of the areas that is of interest, that was, picked out with scientists that are not Adventists, actually. Scientists that were not actually Adventists, when they're doing their researches and, choosing on the population to conduct a research, a population with a controlled, with a behavior that is uniform, or a behavior that can be controlled. They did go out throughout the world picking, I remember in Japan there was a place called Okinawa.
Yes.
Okinawa, is amongst one of the blue zones.
Yes.
We've got Ikaria, in Greece, and one of the places that was of interest was Loma Linda, right? So Loma Linda is a place that is in the United States of America, and it's known to be a place that is concentrated, or that is dense, or that is highly populated with Seventh-day Adventists. And one of the reasons why researchers that were researching about things that contribute to the longevity of people, people living above 100 years old, and not just living above 100 years old, but living above 100 years old whilst still healthy and enjoying their life, even at a century years old. Loma Linda was chose, and the reason that they chose they really bring out that the reason why we chose calls Seventh-day Adventists is, number one, it's a group of people that do not drink alcohol or that abstain from alcohol, right? And then they uphold healthy habits such as exercise, promote exercise.
Yes.
And apart from that, there are people that subsist mainly on a whole foods, plant-based diet. So these are things that are, are known to be flagships of Seventh-day Adventists, But I think these are the issues, we need not to slumber, because, these are the issues that we need to time and again, echo, as we know that our enemy or our adversary, the devil, is going and moving around as a lion, looking whom he can devour. So if we slumber for a moment, it's something that will become very unpopular. That these issues that Seventh-day Adventists used to uphold, it's not something that is very now common amongst the Adventists.
Thank you so much, Doctor. What are your last words of encouragement to our viewers?
Okay, so when you're rounding up, I think I wouldn't have done justice on the issue about liquids when it comes to men's health.
Okay.
If I do not talk about certain drinks that men are taking, the kaburu, there are those,
right,
especially beverages with a red top on top of them, power, they've got some nice names out there. Kaburu, it makes you a boo. These are some of the liquids that people are taking as sexual enhancers. The fact that men are taking them is the fact that they are noting that there's something that is wrong, Charles. But something that is just said is that probably maybe the ways, or the things that the way in which they are approaching the situation is the one that is not, so comprehensive and so awesome or really helpful, because, when you are taking some of those issues, you are like someone, I always give this analogy, like someone who is in a room that has got an open tap, and instead of closing the tap, you take the mop, start mopping the floor without closing the tap. The tap is still on, the water is running, to the floor, and you are busy mopping. You are not addressing the cause of the problem. We are saying the cause of the problem are conditions or issues such as diabetes, such as hypertension. You are not going to the root cause of the problem, but you are going to the effect, and you would want to do with the effect. So we know that, if you are to get results that are sustainable, we move from cause to effect.
Yes.
What is it that has caused this? And then you address, if there are wrong habits that are there, those wrong habits are removed. If it was the issue about not exercising or living a life that is sedentary, you get to remove that. And when you remove that, you replace that with things that are helpful, or the right way of living. You then create an environment, the Eon celebration, then create an environment that is supportive and conducive enough to promote your health, if you are to have something that is sustainable. So those are some of the challenges that we get to face. A lot of things out there that men, the red Congo dust, that men are trying to use to employ, to help themselves. But one thing I think that we then mention, actually, Charles, a statistic that I did not mention in closing: a number of men that at times experience erectile dysfunction and do not seek for help. If you are to, it has been shown, this is war studies, it has been shown that a lot of those men, if you are to follow them up for the next 5 or 10 years, right, those men will present to health institutions with either a stroke, a heart attack, or problems with the kidney failure, because the same process or the things that are wrong that are happening to the blood vessels that are going kunengo, isikarudzi anditika kunengo yemurume, are the same things that are happening to the blood vessels kana kutsinga dzinofambisa ropa dziri kuenda kuma kidneys. Is the same thing that is happening kutsinga dziri kuenda kumoyo. It's the same thing that is happening to kutsinga dziri kuenda kubrain. So it's just a matter of moment. When you don't seek help and institute the right things that you present to the health. So actually, we actually say erectile dysfunction and some of those things, erectile dysfunction to be particular, is one of the first indicators that you get that there's something that is wrong and that needs to be what? To have your attention on it. You get it? So I think this is my summary and conclusion. Let us as men be proactive about, issues about our health. You did mention a really, touching story, whereby I really do believe, Charles, a lot of men, at times when we are going to stand before, the creator of the heavens and earth on that final day, that a lot of men are going to be told that you prematurely died before your time. I think there are people that will prematurely die before the time or the number of years that God would have set for them, because of the ignorant and at times reckless behavior that we employ in terms of taking care of ourselves. We have got only one piece of life that has been given to us, and our inquiry should be, how can we employ or take care of our bodies to the best of our ability? One piece of life.
Thank you,
Charles.
Health rebalance, where we discuss everything health, where we celebrate health. And today we were zeroing in on men's health. If there is anything a man wants to do, the moment you realize that you've got a symptom, there's something that is not going on the way it should, there's something that is bothering you, quickly seek for professional help, or even just social support, than to just die inside or burn inside or cry alone inside. It is okay for a man to shed a tear, not only on weddings. I know a number of men sometimes on weddings they shed a tear, but it's okay for a man to cry. If you feel you cannot cry maybe in the presence of other people, go for a walk and then tear down yourself in tears. That actually will help you to relieve of the tension that you might be going through that particular time. But more importantly, visit a health professional. Men's Clinic International is there to support you as well, and you want to do that. But as men, when it comes to erectile dysfunction, we have just heard it from the specialist, from the doctor here, that is an indicator of other more complex challenges going to come if we don't address it as soon as possible. And when we are looking at surgical enhancers, let's put those aside. Let's seek for professional help, and you'll be able to live into old age gracefully and not groaningly. And we are not yet done. We are yet to go into one of these diseases that are non-communicable, that affect men: erectile dysfunction, prostate cancer, talking about diabetes, hypertension, and how it affects men's health mentally, looking at suicidal ideation, and also getting suicidal support, so that we begin to have men in the community that are relevant and that are valuable for their families, for themselves, and for the community. Until next time, from your host, Dr. Charles Hleza, please subscribe, like, and share this particular program that is aired on Mandara Online, so that your friends and your colleagues can benefit, and we can begin to have a group of men, a new generation of men that are healthy, that have got a better health seeking behavior. Thank you.
Okay, we can bow our heads and pray. To our kind and loving Father who is there above in heaven, God, we really thank you for the opportunity that you gave us, that we should discuss issues that we believe are so dear to your heart. You tell us in your word in the book of Timothy that you, beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health. And amongst those that you wish that they may be in health, men are included, dear God. I will pray that you may help to empower us and help us to make the right decisions, to do the right things, to do away with habits that are very injurious to our health, to know that you have put in our hands a very special gift. That is the gift of the body temple, the gift of this body. May you really indeed help us to take care of it and to prove to be good stewards of that which we have given in our hands. And may you help us to be of good courage. These might be difficult issues to address or to do away with because of inherited and cultivated tendencies. But we do believe in your power and in the working of the Holy Spirit to be able to change the human heart and even the the behaviors that we have. We pray all through Christ who died for us on Calvary. Amen.
Amen.
Nyenyezi yapiwa wafambiwe sekutungamira zampupurizo zisingazodzimi kujeka kwangu kunotipenyera ndipe baiberi masoko machene dinotewera kujeka kwaro zikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo ndipe baiberi apo ndatambudzwa ngezvitema neurombo hwazvo ndipe mazviyo Jesu ataura kunditondedza aripo pedyo ndipe baiberi masoko machene ndinotevera kujeka kwaro zvikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo ndipe baiberi ndinofamba naro rinditseure nezvakaipa mwenje weruponeso munedima kundipangidza nzira kudenga ndipe baiberi masoko machene ndinotevera kujeka kwaro zvikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo ndipe baiberi mwenje weupenyu usingagumi newakanaka rindiratidze rujeko rwa Jesu rindionese mbiri kudenga ndipe baiberi masoko machene ndinotewera kujeka kwaro zvikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo ndipe baiberi masoko machene ndinotevera kujeka kwaro zvikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo zvikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo zvikomedzo zvidzidzo mutemo nerudo sezvakumbanamo